Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Friday night, so I am very happy for a couple of reasons. One is that my corporate 9 to 5 job in London is done until Monday, and I have room this weekend to just write. I have had an incredible week when it comes to my writing journey. Well, an incredible 2 weeks when it comes to my writing journey. I'm feeling as if I'm making moves and going in the right direction. And that has gone hand in hand with just feeling ridiculously inspired. So I've hardly watched any TV, haven't really wanted to watch it apart from like really low key, low stakes YouTube videos from other book people that just really get me in my comfort feels. I've been reading a lot more and I've been writing a lot more. And I'm really excited to update you on that. And I'll probably talk about it and all the different moves I've made throughout this video. But ultimately, I mentioned it in my last video that I had a mentor that was helping me edit my pitch, look at my novel, and give me some feedback. She looked at the first 3 chapters that I'd written. So I have written 3 full fiction novels. 2 are self-published for charity. 1 is a done manuscript ready to query literary agents to hopefully get a traditionally published book deal. That is my ultimate goal. And then I've been writing my 4th book. So every week I made a commitment to myself to query 2 agents and write 1,000 words of my new book. I wasn't getting anywhere with the agents. And then I went to this book event, met this mentor. She's been helping me out and reviewing things. And I can't remember if I mentioned it in my last video, but essentially she pointed me in the direction of, I actually think your 3rd book needs a bit more editing. And I hadn't given myself long enough from when I said it was done to step away from that manuscript, give it space to breathe, and then come back with it with a critical eye. 6 months later, I'm now really able to do it. And I have been so completely inspired with my book. And so I've been really dialing down the social aspect of my weekends and my evenings. And this whole week, I have had no social plans. I've been doing my book, and 1 day out of the weekend, I've been trying to write. And that's what you saw in my video last week. So it's been going really well. But then also on the reading side of things, I was reading Zodiac Academy, and honestly, I think because it is one of those self-published, easy read, but very long series, the writing isn't brilliant, and so it wasn't helping. I think the thing with being an author or an aspiring traditionally published author is that you need to read a lot in order to get better at your own writing, because you need to read some really good things, and I don't know, just like an array of things in sort of the genres that you're working towards. And I write women's fiction with romance, and so reading just plain new adult romance isn't really going to help. I have been leaning a bit more literary in my writing style since re-editing, and just sort of like general fiction. So I have started reading Frederick Backman's My Friends, and it is honestly such a good book. I'm smiling now. What was taking me ages to get through with Zodiac Academy, I've done in a week, because I've not been wanting to watch TV, because I have just been wanting to read, and I've also been wanting to write. And so I've just been in a really good space. So I'm really excited to do another video of me sort of spending the weekend fitting in some writing. I just feel so ridiculously inspired. We've changed the flat a little bit, and I'm going to show you. We've moved the flat around a bit to enable me to have different writing spaces. So because we're in a 1-bed flat, it is really challenging to write. So if Tom is in the lounge and he wants to watch telly, there's a desk behind that I use to write. And obviously if he's watching TV, I can't focus. So I needed another space, but the bedroom didn't really have any space for a desk, but we've managed to get a really mini desk, which I will probably write at some point this weekend, or at least show you. So that's amazing. And then it's getting a little bit warmer. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. So I'm hoping to write on the balcony in the morning and get some sun before taking Lola out for a walk. Tom is out tomorrow, so it just means I'm going to massively get into my writing feels. But also one thing I want to do is reorganize my bookshelf in my bedroom. So we have a jam-packed weekend full of really bookish, wholesome things. And then on the Sunday, I'm going hiking with my friends. So I am just really excited to just have a weekend to focus on the thing that is bringing me so much passion. I have so many other things to update you on, sort of like writing courses and everything. But I am just watching a YouTube video at the moment. I'm going to finish it, eat a bit of chocolate because it's Friday. Then I'm going to set the desk up and write. And then tomorrow is probably when I will update you on all of the fun things I've been doing with my writing. All the moves I feel as if I've been making in a really positive direction towards my writing career. And just generally, my corporate job is going really well as well. So I'm excited to just chat to you guys, fill you in on everything, and just hopefully show you all my writing progress and sort of where I'm at with getting my third book, thinking about my fourth book. So let's get into this very, very bookish weekend, low-key homebody weekend that I have planned. Good morning. Tom has just taken Lola outside to the loo, so I have a couple of minutes to quickly update you this morning on what I'm doing and what I did last night. But it was really cloudy this morning and now the sun is breaking through, so I'm so happy, and it has just made me want to get outside a little bit. I did have a huge chill last night. It was so nice. I got to watch a bit of YouTube, read the Frederick Backman book, which I'm loving, and then do a bit of writing with a cup of sleepy tea. It was just like I was in my writer feels. Like, honestly, when I say I'm so inspired and motivated, and I haven't felt like this in so long since COVID, honestly, it's getting to the point where I wake up in the morning around like 5:30 because I'm like, I want to get up and I want to write. And that's been happening to me. I've been beating my alarm every single day for the past couple of weeks. It's been so lovely to feel like that after so long. I've missed this feeling so much. But this morning I forced myself to stay in bed until just after 6:30, and then I got up. I had a few little things to do, so I've been really researching book festivals, book competitions and all of that. And so I booked a festival that I'm going to go to, a romance writing festival later on in the year, and managed to book an agent one-to-one. And it's so funny, Tom and I were chatting about it, because you basically pay to speak to an agent for 15 minutes and you pay 70 quid to do it. And Tom was like, that feels really quite like icky if you're paying to get a foot in the door. It relies on money, but I get that they're paying for the agent's time and everything, and I think I'm just going to try it, see how I feel, and if I do feel like it's really good exposure and it does actually help me and I get a lot of feedback, because I've had being face to face with an agent last week and being face to face with someone that was in the publishing industry, I got so much out of those meetings and so inspired that paying that money will feel worth it to me. And finances have been such a huge mission for me as I've gone into 2026 to try and be mindful with what I'm spending money on. And this more closely aligns to what I actually want from life, instead of me spending like 70 quid on a Zara order or something like that. I'm not doing that anymore. So actually, this feels really good to me. So yeah, I am really inspired. I was writing here this morning a little bit at the desk. I feel like I have such a good brainwave in the morning. Mornings are where I'm feeling most on it and less tired. But I just was looking at the sun and was like, I want a change of scenery. So Tom's going to head to the gym. I'm going to head to a coffee shop round the corner, but they have really strict rules on where you can sit with laptops. So I'm hoping that there's a seat where I can have my laptop, because they do amazing pastries, delicious. But if it's too busy, there's so many coffee shops in this area. I'm so lucky that I can just go somewhere else. But I'm going to take with me, and this is what I was looking at last night and I didn't explain, one of the things I've got for myself. So I mentioned last video that I got the Writers and Artists Yearbook, and it's been fantastic in showing me competitions, bursaries, mentorships, literary agents. It's such a good directory for so many things. I had found myself sort of researching online, like in my writing, I was looking at different words and phrases for things, and I know a thesaurus exists and you've got Google, so you've got so much available to you on the laptop. But I just love romanticizing the writing process, and I asked ChatGPT if there are any books that act like a thesaurus, at least a phrase thesaurus, because I don't want to just be like Googling. I find it quite difficult. So it suggested Sabrina's phrase thesaurus, and I've got them, and they're broken down for different oh, Tom's just got back. So as I was saying before Tom came home, and before I get stage fright and overthink things, I wanted to get either maybe a traditional thesaurus or a phrase thesaurus, and Chat suggested Sabrina's phrase thesaurus volumes 1 to 4. They were quite cheap on Amazon, and they are self-published. Some of the phrases in them are okay. Others have actually been really helping me. So I've been highlighting words that wouldn't necessarily jump out at me in my own vocabulary. I think it's really good. That's why it's really good as a writer to constantly read, because you're getting more words in your brain to use for your own writing, and different ways to describe stuff, because I notice I say the word smile a lot and laugh, and there's different ways you can describe that. So I'm just trying to educate myself and get better while I'm editing my 3rd book. And yeah, so after having my mentor give me feedback on my pitch, my focus at the moment is rewriting my 3rd novel, basically, is completely redrafting it. Not fully redrafting, but I am doing quite a heavy edit. And I'm just making it a bit more leaning towards the women's fiction side, because it's quite an emotional book. The agent last week advised maybe you need to think more about targeting women's fiction audience with a subplot of romance. So I'm doing that, and it's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I've got a few things in the pipeline, which I will probably talk about later, because I definitely want to get to this coffee shop before all the seats are taken, about writing competitions that I'm going to do, or maybe even writing courses that I'm thinking about. But I'm just desperate to write this morning while my brain is wired and I am craving a really good pastry. So I'm going to head to the coffee shop now, leave Lola here, because this is so funny. The seats that I have to type on are high seats, and she hates it when I sit on a high stool in a cafe and she's on the floor. She doesn't like it because she can't be near me. So she'll be more relaxed at home. So I'm going to do that while Tom's at the gym. Then we're going on a huge hike tomorrow. So we need to go to do a food shop to get some sandwiches while we go on this 6-hour hike tomorrow. We need food with us. So I'm going to pack my bag and I'm going to head straight to this coffee shop. So it's only 12:30 and I just got back from walking Lola with my friend in the park. I used to work with him, so it was really nice. I haven't seen him for 8 months. So we were catching up in the park and we walked past this Schnauzer convention. It was very cute. Sometimes in my local park, they'll do different meetups of different dog breeds. Really adorable. I have not taken Lola to a spaniel one. I think it would be crazy, actually. It would be absolutely crazy. But the weather is glorious. It is, I think, 20 degrees. My balcony sadly doesn't get the sun because I'm back and I want to do a bit of writing. It would be lovely if the balcony had sun, but it's got shade, which I will be thankful for in the summer, because I'll be able to write when it's like 26 degrees and it's unbearable when the sun is on you and you've got a laptop or a Kindle and you can't really see it properly. At least then I'll be able to write outside, but I am going to see if I can write outside. It might just be that I throw a hoodie on because it'll be really nice. When I went to the coffee shop this morning, The vibes were great. Tom has never been there and he loved it. He thought it was really, really nice. So he ended up staying and getting a breakfast burrito. I got a pan au chocolat and an iced coffee. But then he left to go to the gym and I carried on writing, and I wrote a little bit, but I didn't bring my noise cancelling headphones. So the music was really loud, and then this couple next to me were like just chatting about some weekend plans, and I just couldn't focus. So I actually think what I wrote was a load of rubbish. So I'm gonna, now that Tom is out for a cycle at the moment, I'm gonna sit, hopefully on the balcony, it's warm enough. I'm gonna read through, sorry if this is really noisy, I just need my ice cubes. I'm gonna read through what I wrote when I was there, just check that it's good, and then just keep editing for a little bit while he's not here. And then our plan, and I'm so excited, our plan is to go and get a pizza. I bought some really nice salad from M&S when I did a food shop after the coffee shop. Our plan is to go get a pizza and then sit and have a picnic in the park. We actually have a bottle of champagne from his old job. When it was his birthday, they gave it to him. So we were going to take a bottle of that, be really bougie. That pizza, picnic blanket, salad, Lola, sunshine in the park will be a good break from writing. And then there's another Japanese patisserie round the corner that doesn't shut until 10 p.m. And I thought that once I'd done that, if I wanted to take myself and have some dessert, just really treat myself. I've had a pastry today, a coffee out, pizza, and then go to this bakery because they do this amazing, I can't remember what it's called. I'll write the word here, but I just don't know how to say it. They do, it's like layers of crepe with like chocolate cream or whatever flavored cream. They do like a matcha one, Earl Grey one. So delicious. So I'm really excited. This is so hard to do one-handed. I'm really excited to go and do that. Maybe it's quite, hopefully it's quiet. Around my area gets quite touristy on the weekends because it's quite a nice place to visit. It's along the river. There's shops, there's a park, there's loads of pubs and restaurants and cafes and everything. So it does get quite hectic. And I like to avoid it on the weekends, but hopefully it'll be okay later in the evening because who's going to sort of a coffee shop late at night? I don't know, but we'll try it. I've never gone and actually sit and written in there. It is dog friendly, so maybe I would take Lola. I'm not sure. But I'm having my last can of poppy. I'm going to sit on the balcony, edit. And then at some point today, I really need to go through my bookshelves because I'm taking some of my books back to my parents' house and I really need to go through them. Oh, and I forgot to show you, I got some really nice tulips from M&S when I went shopping. I got sandwiches and everything and like snacks that we need for our hike tomorrow because there's no pubs or anything on the route. So I'm going to stop talking, get myself on that balcony and edit some of my manuscript. I did forget to show the balcony all done and tidy in my last video because I was putting the chairs together. Lola absolutely loves these. It's so cute, but I have like, this is a really cozy reading spot and then this is perfect for writing, but I also might move to this chair in a little bit. You happy? Yeah? Hello. So please ignore how I literally look like I'm in my pajamas. We've just got back after reading and having a pizza in the park in the glorious sunshine. It's literally only 20 degrees, but it felt so warm outside. Lola was loving it too. She was just watching all the birds. It was amazing. And then before that, I was home for a little bit after my walk, did a bit of writing, made myself like an at-home cafe vibe. I love doing that when Tom's out of the house. I'll basically go and buy a baked good. In this case, I had a blueberry muffin, and then I make myself an iced coffee from my machine because I've now cracked the new coffee machine and I'm loving loving the coffee from there versus spending £5 on one in a cafe in London. But the sunshine has just been absolutely incredible. But on my list to do today, as well as editing as much as I can, is clearing out this bookshelf. And so basically what we're doing is we were in the glorious sunshine. We had our pizza, we had our bubbles. It was really lovely. And then I definitely want to edit a bit more. I said I wanted to get to chapter 16 today, and I've only managed to get to chapter 11, but that's because I've been doing such deep dive editing. I've genuinely been evaluating every single sentence. So of course it's going to take me so much longer, but I just want to do a little bit more focused because I struggled in the coffee shop, and then I only had an hour while I was editing. Like I did a bit on the balcony, then came inside because it was a bit cold on the shady side today. But then Tom came home and we wanted to go straight out and have a picnic. But the Japanese patisserie that I mentioned earlier is open until 10. And Tom was like, I'll absolutely come with you. I want to go outside. The sun is shining. So we're going to go in a little bit. But because it's sunny, Tom is like, I don't want to stay in this flat for as long as as I want to do the least amount of time as possible. And then I want to go to this patisserie, and he'll just take his iPad and hang out. I think that's what's quite nice about us as a couple, is when he wants to come with me, he's like, yep, you carry on writing, but he'll just sit and watch football or YouTube videos. So it's all good. He can come with me and he won't distract me. And it's so nice having the company. And he is absolutely obsessed with the pancake thing that we're going to get later, just as much as I am. And then they also have this Oreo bubble tea type drink, but it's not bubble tea. It's literally it tastes like Oreo ice cream. It is absolutely delicious, and it's all I've been thinking about. And because we're going to hike 13 miles tomorrow, I can eat whatever I want tonight because I will need that energy for tomorrow. So it's 5 o'clock. We were out in the sunshine for a few hours, and Tom doesn't want to spend much time here, as I just mentioned. So he's like, go and sort out your bookshelves in the quickest amount of time possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to review all of these because I don't want to hoard things anymore. I think I'm really done with wanting as many books as possible. I'm splitting it between ones I'm keeping here because I love them, and then ones I'm going to take back to Bristol to my parents' house, and then ones that I'm going to sell on Vinted because I am trying to make as much money as possible to pay for extra bookish things, which I'm going to talk about because I mentioned I was going to talk to you about festivals, writing competitions, all that good stuff that I'm doing on top of the normal writing. But I'm going to do that while I'm clearing this out. But I also wanted to show you one of the things I've cracked in terms of writing in this apartment and not having enough space. I think I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. But basically, I've now set up this thing. I don't know if you can see it here because I've got this footstool in front of it. But we literally, for £20 on Amazon, bought this console table that matches this bookshelf. And all it does is it just sits in front of it. And it doesn't take up any room. I've got a footstool that slots underneath it. And then in the kitchen, we've got a folded chair for when we're both working from home. And all this has done is open up another space for me to write when both Tom and I are home. So I literally have no excuse now, because previously, when we had just a dining table, we had my work desk, and we didn't have anything in here, and it was cold, so I couldn't go on the balcony. If Tom was watching TV at home, I couldn't write. Whereas now I've been get rid of any excuse because I want to write more. I want to write in the evenings. I want to write in the mornings. I want to write on weekends. And sometimes, yes, on the weekends I can do cafes, but I want to, it's late at night or it's cold or it's winter, I want to be able to write at home if I just suddenly inspiration hits. So I've now got this little desk in the bedroom, and then I've got the pull-out desk in the kitchen because I don't like using my actual work from home desk because it just sucks the creativity out of me. So without further ado, let's get on with arranging this. And my phone is running out of battery, so I have to do this as quick as possible. It is 6 minutes past 5. Let's see how quick it can take me. And as I do this, I will talk to you about the writing courses that I'm going on or hoping to go on, and everything I'm doing with my writing and why I'm feeling so inspired. So I think originally, as I sort of being a bit of an introverted writer, I mentioned this in my last video, but I get really freaked out by being around other writers that all want the same thing as me. It's very similar to law school when they just really spook you out, being like, oh my God, I've done 100 different things and I've won all these awards and I'm doing all these prizes and I'm like so into writing. You're a failure because you don't know any of this and you're not doing it. And I'm like, shouldn't the only thing that matters be writing? But no, I think the thing I've come to realise from speaking to my mentor person, but also speaking to the literary agent that I met the other week, the fact that I connected with her at a book event and I spoke to this agent for maybe 2 hours for free, and she gave me her email address and she said, send me your sample chapters. That came from networking. And I'm looking at some of these writing festivals. I know I've signed up to it. I absolutely know that I have signed up to this anyway. So I'm doing both. But the fact that to get 15 minutes in front of an agent costs £70 for literally a one-to-one for 15 minutes where you pitch your book. But I got this unfiltered access to this woman for 2 hours for absolutely nothing, just because my friend knew the author. It like blows my mind, and I was so lucky to have that opportunity that it's kind of made me realise that I need to create more opportunities for myself. But also, I think writing is one of those things. Like, I studied law and history, so I think part of that makes you almost like you learn how to write, not creatively, but obviously you learn sentence structure, you learn grammar, you learn all of that. So that puts you in good stead. But I've never done a creative writing course. And one of the things that the mentor mentioned, but also the literary agent mentioned, was even if like a book is great and it would be published, you can go on writing courses, you can enter competitions, you can go to writing festivals, not just book festivals. And all these things will give you exposure, because the same sorts of people tend to go in terms of agents and publishers and everything like that. So if you can build a relationship, because that's how I met my mentor, was one of these writing festivals. And then I saw her again at a book talk later down the line, and you build that connection. And so having grown up around people that no one writes, like literally nobody in my life is a writer, a creative writer. The only writer I know is a friend of a friend who I didn't even know existed until a few weeks ago. And now I'm going for coffee with her. So it does, all these things are aligning and it's really positive. But you have to force yourself to get out there. And one of my friends is a radio presenter and actress and a normal presenter and a radio presenter. And man, she hustles for everything. She literally sends 50 emails out to people being like, can I do this? Can I do this? And every single opportunity she gets, she's worked so hard to get it. And I just was listening to her and I thought, I need to do that in writing. So I've been signing up to book festivals. That yearbook has told me all of the festivals that are sort of happening at the moment. And so I have put them all on an Excel spreadsheet, worked out which ones I want to go to depending on dates and also cost and things like that, because all of these things are a privilege to go to, because I can afford to go to it, because I've got a corporate job that will help me and a career that can help pay for these things. But a lot of it is money, which is actually quite a sad, again, another sad realization is it will cost money to go to these things. But they do have, if you, not necessarily with the festivals, but with the writing competitions, if you can't pay the entrance fee, you can apply to get funding. So that is also an option if you can't spend 30 quid on each writing competition entry. But this yearbook told me all of the writing festivals that were coming up, and then also all the writing competitions. And then I researched and I created an Excel spreadsheet of the festivals. I created another Excel spreadsheet of the creative writing competitions, the deadlines, the cost to enter. And so I'm looking and I'm making my way through that list and figuring out what ones I want to apply to. And then the other thing I'm doing as well is considering creative writing classes. And again, they come with a cost, but I think my mentor offers editing services and some of them are a little bit on the pricier side. I mean, it's actually all very reasonable for the hours that she puts in, but I could spend, like £6,000 on getting my manuscript edited to a level where I would actually get a book deal. But my God, that's £6,000 just gone. And I thought, well, surely I should put that money to learning how to do it myself as best as I can, because ultimately once you get an agent and you get a publishing deal, you can probably, you will get people on your team and they will help and they'll do that for you. I think I'm really babbling as I'm doing this, but hopefully what I'm saying is making sense. I'm also currently just taking all the books off the front. The ones off the front were sort of my display books. Then the ones behind were done in colour code. So what I want to do is I'm going to be most critical about the stuff that are colour coded behind here, because they're not on display. So they're not like my love books. I've enjoyed them, but I'm going to pull out the ones I love, the ones I'm okay to get rid of, sell on Vinted, and then the ones that I just want to put back to my parents because I don't want to part with them. That's the plan. But yeah, so I thought instead of spending the money on somebody doing the work for me, I'm going to spend the money and less money on learning how to do it myself. And there are so many good writing schools, creative writing courses all over the UK, but also all over the world. So I'm just at the moment researching those. There's a couple of summer school options, and I don't have to do everything now. I have looked at a summer school option and applied to it. Whether I get onto it, it's 4 days, I don't know. But then I don't think I'm going to do a creative writing school until I am next year, because I basically want to build up an emergency fund this year. And then next year, I think I'll be able to, when I don't have to pay for as many holidays and like my sister's wedding and everything. I think after that, I literally am like, have I even read this book? I definitely have, but I don't even remember it. That's crazy. And I probably won't even get rid of it. But anyway, I've got so much I need to pay for this year that I think I'm going to look at perhaps doing it next year. once I've got more money, and I've just let myself edit the third book. I've actually applied for, I forgot to say, I've applied for an editing course this year, which was only, it's still a lot of money, 250 quid, and it's 6 weeks, and I have like online training. So I thought, spend less money editing, like getting someone to edit the book. I've then paid to go on a course to edit the book over summer. I've also applied to a summer school, but then there are way more intensive, like creative writing, not masters, but books, writing courses similar to that, where they're like 3 months, 6 months, or you can go on ones that are a year or 2 years. That I'm parking until next year because I don't feel ready for that. So that's sort of my plan of action, because I think even if my writing is good enough to get published, I will always be able to improve. So I just really enjoyed it. So I feel really motivated, really inspired, and really excited to sort of do all of the different courses, competitions, festivals, put myself out there, get myself confident. So yeah, it's really exciting. I went on a ramble so much then, but I've pulled out all the front books. So now I'm going to go through each of these, critically think what ones I'm going to get rid of and what ones I'm going to keep. And I'm going to carry on. It's now 5:15, so I need to do this within 15 minutes. So I'm going to go as quick as I possibly can. Okay, it's 6:05, so I have to really, really quickly show you what I've done, because I'm 5 minutes late to go to the patisserie with Tom. But I basically have done it, and I got rid of books that, the ones on here are definitely my favourite books, or ones that are my favourite at the moment, because obviously your taste changes and evolves, which it massively has. But I have been watching like loads of YouTube videos where people have just been organising their books, not on how it aesthetically looks, but just like, here's some fiction, here are my favourite authors, here's some series that go together. So I kind of just was like, I don't want to do the colour rainbow anymore. I just want to group authors together, I want to group series together, and I want to spread out the colour. So that's exactly what I did. So at the top, you've got my favourite top authors, I would say, or ones that I really remember and I always think about. So of course it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. She's like my absolute number one. Then you've got Abby Jimenez, Ali Hazelwood, and Emily Henry. There is a bit of wiggle room because I know that Abby Jimenez has another book that I haven't got yet, and also Ali Hazelwood, I'm pretty sure. So that will go there. Then I've got some romance series here that I love, and also another author, Ashley Poston, that I love. And then I've got my Rebecca Yarros fantasy, and then I've got my Tahara Mafi fantasy. So these are kind of fantasy series together. And then like more Fourth Wing copies are behind here. So I put the picture in front of it because obviously it's duplicate. Then I snuck in a couple of random books to the side because there was a bit of a gap. Here is a blend of romance authors, fiction books, US copies of books that I just like, authors that I love, and like books that I really think about. So you've got Frederick Backman here. I don't know what I'm going to do when I finish my Frederick Backman. I am going to need to rethink some of this, but, and then at the next one down, you've got my YA series and also standalone books. And then underneath here, you've got more romance book series or romance authors. And again, you're not really going to see this because I work in front of it and I've got a footstool. So this I didn't really worry about too much, but I definitely prefer it not being double stacked. It looks way less chaotic, but I do think I do have a Kindle and I need to like, stick to being a Kindle girly, but I'm a bit worried that like, this is already busting at the seams. And I will show you now how many books I'm getting rid of versus how many I'm taking back to my parents. I think my parents are going to be really cross. I don't actually know if I have enough room on my bookshelf in my old bedroom for these books, but we shall see. I am going home and they're not going to be there, so it's like I can put them away and then walk away and get away with it, but I know I've got room under the bed, and so hopefully they don't catch me doing this. And they don't watch my videos, so I will absolutely get away with it if I don't tell them. But I'll show you now how many books I've got coming back to Bristol. So if you can believe it, this is all the books I've got going back, like recipe books I don't really use, and then some other books. I think I will look at this pile over the next week because we are here for a week before we go back, and I think I'm really going to be strict on myself and think, do I want to get rid of some of these, because it's quite a lot. But I mean, so many were like hidden in here because it is such a deep bookshelf, but I'm loving having it not double stacked because I think it gives me more room for when I put the desk in front of it. And then pathetically, this is the only pile I'm getting rid of. I am getting rid of ACOTAR because I literally did not like the series. I only kept it on my shelf because everybody has ACOTAR on their shelves, and I'm done with keeping things here just because other people have it. But yeah, very pathetic job of putting things away and getting rid of stuff. But at least my bookshelf looks nicer. So hopefully my parents do not notice all of these massive lots of books coming back to Bristol. But I'm going to go now to the Japanese patisserie.